The NCAA has finally ruled in the Alabama basketball players' attempt to come back to college after playing in the G League, being entering the draft, and did everything that you're supposed to do to leave college, except you participated at the pro level in a sport that you're trying to come back to. Now he was playing. He had a temporary injunction, a restraining order, where he could be able to go and play in these ball games. But the judge has finally decided that, nah, bruh, this isn't something that you're supposed to be doing. And the NCAA president, Charlie Baker, was glad that the rules were upheld of the members. It said common sense won a round today. The court saw this for what it was, an attempt by professionals to pivot back to college and crowd out the next generation of student athletes. College sports are for college students, not for people who already walked away to go pro and now want to hit the undo button at the expense of a teenager's dream. Now, that is something that I have been talking about for quite some time. As a kid, we grow up and we have these dreams and admirations of being just necessarily a professional, but you want to work your behind off to get a college scholarship. And now we have pro players that are allowed to come back after they have left to come back into college to push away.
After they fail.
Right, and push away the opportunity for some of these younger kids to get an opportunity to come to college and develop. Now, you can say he's crying over spilled milk. You can say whatever you want about it. But back in our day, you came to college to get to the next level. And once your time is done, you left. But I'm going to hear Paul Feinbaum talk about this and why this is the right thing to do.
Bediako is no longer eligible to play as the Tuscaloosa judge, the second judge, by the way, has denied the injunction. It could have major ramifications, and the big question now is, will the NCAA try to? It's hard to take these games away, but certainly they could, especially with the SEC commissioner siding with the NCAA. That's another factor to. By the way, the SEC athletic directors are currently meeting right now while this is going on. But to wrap it up before we get back to the calls, a Tuscaloosa judge has denied Bediako's motion for a preliminary injunction to allow him to keep playing.
And I'm glad that happened, because right now you start looking at the standings, right? And you're trying to figure out, how's this going to help in the seedings? Well, number one, most of the teams will be in the SEC tournament. Alabama's no different. They're 6-4 right now in the SEC, 16-7 on the season. But the realization of it all is, I don't care. I don't want them to be affected by this. I don't want them to have to lose games. I don't want them to have to, because the rule was in place for him to be able to play.
But why did the judge in the first place allow this? And come to find out that he's a donor.
Yeah. He's like an alum.
You're right. It's like, okay, we got a chance to have a player his caliber come back.
Yep.
Yes, let's do it.
Well, I've had multiple conversations. I have multiple conversations with some people involved at some higher levels. And the one thing that I continue to go back to is, why can't Mark Henry and I and Marcus, as we're the heads of these situations, that we say no as a group? We're not allowing that to happen in our sport. This has become ridiculous that Coach Vic Schaefer talked about this the other day, because someone asked him at our presser about recruiting internationally. And he says, because of the way that the rules are set up, why would I not? And I agree with that. If the rules say this for right now, that you can go across overseas and you can get a Luka Doncic who's been playing in the league since he was 15 years old, and you can get him to come and play in college, why wouldn't you if the rules state that? Which is why I say everybody should be, as a university, as an organization of coaches, that you say, no, we are not going to do that.
So you're against the 17-year-old, 18-year-old European player too?
If he's played professionally and got paid to play, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Once again, are we trying to – I know the deal. All these coaches are trying to win because their jobs are on the line. So you're going to go get somebody that's experienced.
Yeah.
But the realization is whatever happened to developing the players that you recruit and making them the stars instead of trying to go get the stars. Development is important no matter what you're doing. Hour number 1 is in the book.